Hello friends, Ravinder Verma this side, and in today's video we are gonna learn an amazing compositing technique which will combine one green screen video with a scene rendered from Lumion. Check out this video. As you can see, the camera is moving through a jungle and one T-Rex is coming towards us. So now this scene has two main components. The one from the Lumion, which is rendered out from the Lumion, and another one is this T-Rex model, which is actually downloaded from DGVFX channel. So let's get started. To start with, let's create one scene in Lumion. I will go with the plane, and now we must have that green screen video inside this Lumion scene for this technique to work. Let's create one box in 3D Studio Max or Blender or whatever the software you use to create the 3D objects. I will take a box and create a simple box. Now important to know that we must create this box according to our green screen video size. Our dinosaur video is 1920 by 1080, so we must have that box sized accordingly. So let's create the box with the same size, which is 1920 by 1080. Alright. Now the height should be minimum. Alright. Once you have this box, you will export it in the FBX format. Alright. I have already exported this box, and now we are going to import that. So you go to the objects, imports, and then this import new model button. I have already imported that, so I can use the library, and I have named that FHD box, which is full HD box. So I select this one and I create this box here. Okay, so now you have that box inside your Lumion environment. Now what we are going to do, we are going to texture this box using that green screen video. So you just have to go to the materials, select this box, and in the materials library you select the standard one, and then on this choose color map button you click on it, and then you select the green screen video. It must be MP4, alright, because only MP4 videos are imported in Lumion. Okay, so let's select this green dino green video, open, and once you have that video selected as a texture, you will see the video is playing inside our Lumion environment. Now we don't want any reflections or glossiness on this texture, so we will just remove the glossiness and the reflectivity and the relief. Alright, so we will have just plain texture. Now once you are done with that, what we are going to do is do the placement of this object so that it remains grounded. As you see, the legs of this T-Rex are in the air. So let's change the height of this box and make it near to the ground. Another thing to do is to move this dinosaur or T-Rex according to its speed, because right now the texture is not moving and the T-Rex is just walking on the same position. We don't want that. So what we are going to do is, let's create one movie. So click movie here, click on this record button, and for now let's create 2 points, any 2 points, doesn't matter, and create this movie. Alright, we have this movie like this. So for now let's ignore the camera. What we are going to do next is we are going to add an effect which is advanced move. So let's add that. Click on the edit button. So this effect actually is used to move objects in your video in Lumion. So how? Let's see how. So now you see this T-Rex is moving in this direction, alright, towards the left. So it's a diagonal move, right? So get to the first frame here, select the move object tool, and then go to the last frame, and again with the move object, let's move it. Press shift so that the height of this object remains same. So you move this diagonally like that. Now we have the last keyframe here. Now let's create one keyframe here as well. So on the first frame we will move it back like this. Now if you play, we can see that the dinosaur is moving. Now it's on us how much timing we are going to match, because it should match with the speed of the walking of the T-Rex. So it seems a little bit fast, so let's go to the last frame, press shift so that we don't lose the height, and move it back a little. Let's play it again. It looks correct. You can move around the camera. It almost looks correct. Okay, give it some time so that you have the perfect matching. Once you are done with this, you click back, and now your T-Rex is walking. Let's not change the camera animation. We will get to it later on. So next thing what we are going to do is we are going to create a jungle around this dinosaur. So once you are done with the trees and everything, grass, trees and everything, your jungle will look like this. Okay, and I have created this jungle in layer 1 and the green screen in the layer 2. You know what this layer means, alright? To know more about these layers and how this works, you can refer to our previous tutorials. So now we have this green screen here and the trees like this. So now next thing what we are going to do is we are going to animate the camera. So let's start from here, and then we will move through these trees towards the dinosaur. So I have already done that. If you check this one, I have created 2 keyframes, one here and next one here. So our camera moves like this. Once you are done with that, you can choose the style which is realistic that I choose. You can place the sun and everything. I have already used handheld camera, which actually adds some shakes in the scene. So if you see, the camera is shaking while moving. Now important to see is we haven't tracked anything yet, and we don't gonna use the camera tracking feature in this tutorial, because our dinosaur, this T-Rex, is inside Lumion already. So it's already tracked. You can use any green screen video here, any live action video or whatever you like. This is just for example. Now let's move to the rendering part. Because we are not going to use camera tracking in this tutorial, so we are not going to create those simple objects to track the camera in After Effects as we saw in our previous tutorial. So for this tutorial we are going to use one render pass which will contain the Lumion scene without this green screen. So let's hide this green screen which is in layer 2. So just turn off the layer 2 and green screen will be vanished. Now we will render this scene in full quality. Alright, to render this scene, click on render image sequence full quality. Frame rate is 25 again, all frames. We are not going to use depth pass as well for this tutorial, so let's leave it that as well, and click on full HD. Alright, this way you will have all the full quality renders. I have already rendered them, so if you want to see, these are the files that I rendered out. Alright. Another render pass that you are going to use will be only the green screen. Okay, to do that you will just turn off the first layer, turn on the second layer where T-Rex is, again go to the movie section, and now because we don't want any quality output here, so we will just turn off every effect that we have placed. Just keep in mind that we don't want to turn off the sun, the handheld camera, and advanced move, because these will be used. Without this advanced move, the dinosaur will not move. Okay, so keep that in mind and turn off everything else. We don't want that. Shadow, chromatic, depth of field, whatever. And then just render this video in lowest quality. The frame rate should be same. Click on this full HD button and the scene will be rendered. I have already rendered again, so if you want to see, we have, this is the rendered sequence. Okay, so 2 render passes up to now. Now the third render pass will be the matte render pass, so that we can have the foreground objects separated from the background. Because if you see, let me turn on the first layer again. Now if you see, some trees and bushes are in front of our dinosaur, right? So these bushes and then these trees are in the foreground of our green screen object. So we must have these elements as a foreground. So to do that, what we are going to use is, we are going to change the texture of this green screen object and make it something else. So click on the materials, select this material, and just delete the video that we uploaded. Now change the color of this material to blue. We can use green, we can use blue, whatever the color we want. Also increase the emissiveness so that we don't have shadows on it. Alright, so like this. Okay, and this is again the same method that we used in our last tutorial as well, to separate out the foreground objects from the background. Alright, so now click on the save and then again go to the movie, and now you have a scene like this. Okay, only this blue screen. So this blue screen we will just key out, and these bushes and trees will come in foreground. Okay, so let's render it out. Again, render it out in a very low quality. You don't want any quality here as well. So the frame rate again will be 25. Click on this full HD, and I have already rendered these. So if you want to see them, these will be like this. Okay, like this. So now we have 3 render passes. One is the actual full quality render of the jungle. Next is the green screen T-Rex object, and the last one is the blue screen, which will act as a foreground scenery for our composition. Alright, we are done with the Lumion thing, so let's move on to the After Effects. Okay, so we are in After Effects. Let's import our render passes one by one. So first let's import the background, which is the main quality video. I have set the default frame rate for the imported image sequence as 25. You can do that in import, under the edit preferences, and then under the import you can set that frame rate to 25. So you don't have to go to the interpret main and then change the frame rate here again for every footage. Alright, so once imported, let's import another pass, the dino one, the green screen, and the last pass, which is the blue screen one here. So we have these 3 passes here. Let's create a new sequence using the main quality render, which is BG. So now if you see, we have this sequence created here. Now we need to place the dinosaur. Now again, we don't have to camera track anything because our T-Rex is already tracked, right, inside Lumion itself. So whatever the camera move was there, we have already rendered them out, so no need to track again. Now let's get to the dino which is used to create the foreground for our dinosaur. So now go to the effects control and apply the key light, select the blue color, go to the combine matte and carefully optimize the black and whites so that we have a perfect matte. Change to the screen matte mode and now we have a perfect black and white matte. So this will be used to create the foreground for our compositing. Alright, so now let's track matte this video with our original quality render. Okay, so select the lower layer and under the track matte select the Luma matte. Now as you see, we have a transparency here with the foreground objects already inside the scene. Okay, so whatever you place, these will be placed behind these bushes and behind these tree leaves. Alright, so we just keyed out the blue color from here. Now we can put our dinosaur, our T-Rex video actually, which was the second render pass. So let's create that dino diffuse pass and put that under the BZ pass. So see, now we have our dinosaur, and if you notice, the dinosaur is behind these bushes, right? The bushes and the trees are in the foreground of our dinosaur. So this is what we wanted, right? This tree is in the foreground of our T-Rex. Cool. Now the next thing we have to do is key out the green color. So again, go to the effects control, apply the key light, select the green color, go to the combine matte and carefully update the black and white clippings like this. Alright, now change to the final result and we have this final result here. Now again we have a transparency behind the T-Rex. Now we know what to put in that transparency. Again, the quality render. So let's pick the original one and put that behind this dinosaur. Alright, now we have this. So after combining these three things, we haven't tracked anything because everything is already tracked in our render passes, so we don't have to track here anything. And now we have a scene where our dinosaur is actually behind the bushes but in front of all those trees and everything. Right? As you see, there is a small problem here. Just under this T-Rex, we have a black line which is actually shadow of this green screen video. So let's remove that as well. So select the dino diffuse layer. In the key light, we have to update the black clip so that it removes this black line as well. See, we are removing that black. Okay, so now we have this T-Rex walking in the grass, and if you notice, the T-Rex is actually behind the grass elements as well. Now optionally you can enhance this scene by creating another adjustment layer and adding those letterboxer thing so that it looks like a cinematic scene like this, and then also add some mozo like this, and your scene will be enhanced. Alright, so this is how we actually composite the Lumion scene and the green screen footage. Well, I'm sure you learned something new. Keep watching and please subscribe to this channel for more amazing videos. And this is Ravinder Verma again. See you in the next video. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for more such tutorials.